Hey everybody, I'm Chris Fafalius, and I'm the producer of Krista Makes a Podcast and the host of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
And I'm Matt Kelly, host of Horror Movie Night and the producer / the head of content for the Geekscape Podcasting Network.
Between the two of us, we have, believe it or not, 25 years of podcasting experience, and we want to help you start your own podcast.
We know podcasting, and we want to share that knowledge with you.
So whether you're new to podcasting or you want some feedback on your currently active podcast, we want to help.
Or perhaps you're just overwhelmed with all of the editing work. Well, we can help you with that also.
You can check out our website at weknowpodcasting.com for more information.
We're excited to help your podcasting dreams become a reality. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Matt.
Happy, merry Holliston Christmas Special.
Yes, Holliston Christmas Special. Yay!
So first and foremost, I want to give you a chance to tell us a little bit about Holliston and why you picked this today.
All right. I became a big Adam Green fan after the release of Hatchet.
Mm-hmm. As I think a lot of us were, because it was what every horror fan was looking for, was just like a good gory slasher film.
Exactly. It was just the right amount of dumb fun.
Yeah.
That it needed to be. It didn't take itself seriously. It was exactly what it needed to be. And it wasn't stupid either. Like, it wasn't over the top, where I think maybe I still love the series, but I think
the later films.
Yeah.
And I wonder sometimes, I remember being at a San Diego Comic-Con panel, and it was Lloyd Kaufman, Adam Green, and a few other people. And they were talking about the future of horror, and they were talking about the illegal downloading thing.
Yeah,
and
that's a big topic that he likes to discuss.
So at the time, Frozen had just released that, because that's what he was talking about. Was that Frozen bombed, and he was in the talks for a big film that would have like completely changed his career and took him from like small indie filmmaker to like mainstream filmmaker.
Yeah.
But due almost exclusively to the poor box office receipts of Frozen, he got that project taken away from him. And I don't want to say that he like begrudgingly does the Hatchet movies anymore, but I think the Hatchet movies to Adam Green are very similar to the Of the Dead movies with George Romero, which, like, if you look into George Romero, he doesn't have a strong passion for zombies like he used to, but he knows that it's the only movies he can really get the financing for, because he has the receipts to back up the profitability of it.
Yeah. He knew. Rest in peace, George Romero.
That's true. And I think it's a bummer, because I do think that Frozen is really good. I think Spiral is absolutely an incredible gem.
I really enjoyed Digging Up the Marrow, honestly. I wanted to see where he was going to go with that. And having spoken to him, basically he said the reason there's not going to be a sequel to that was because a lot of people just illegally streamed it. When it first dropped. So my history with Adam Green stemmed from the Hatchet series, as like you said, most people did. And then I knew that they had this show called Holliston, but I'd never seen it, because I don't know about you, but I never had FearNet.
Same.
And I didn't even know anybody who had FearNet.
No.
Like, to me, FearNet was a mythical like station that no one had, that I just kept seeing ads for on horror websites.
No, I agree. I like, in a weird way, the fact that like FearNet lasted as long as it did is impressive, because like the only thing I knew about FearNet was that at one point I had it on demand. I still don't know if it was an actual channel that you could turn on, but it did have some movies on demand, so that's how I saw like Night of the Creeps for the first time. was through like the FearNet on demand.
For those of you unfamiliar, FearNet is basically what Shudder has become.
Yes.
Except it was much more of, again, we don't even know, but from the ads we can put together, it was kind of like a station.
Yeah, like it may have been like an MTV for horror, I guess.
Yeah, you could kind of compare it to probably the live feeds that Shudder does. Those 3 live feeds that they do in the app, you could probably compare it to that. But on there, they had like original programming, and one of the shows on it was Holliston. Adam Green wrote and created the show with his buddy Joe Lynch, both real directors, good writers, especially if you're a fan of, and in the horror community. Growing up in Adam's hometown of Holliston, basically. I absolutely fell in love with the show, and I will not sit here and say it's a great show. Like I think it is what it is. I think it knows what it is. It's goofy, it's off the wall, but that's what I go to Adam Green for, is goofy, off the wall stuff.
Yeah.
As well with Joe Lynch.
So my first note when I put this on was, is this WandaVision?
Okay.
Because I have heard about this for a long time. I'll tell you, the first thing I didn't expect was the canned laughter. And I was like, wait, and then I was like, is this like just special to this being a Christmas episode, or is this the vibe?
That's throughout the entire show. So, and that was kind of the thing. At least that's the vibe that I got. I bought both seasons on Blu-ray, proudly.
Nice.
And that's kind of the vibe. It's like a parody of sitcoms, but also like just is a sitcom as well.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a parody. It is a sitcom.
And I guess the problem that I had with this is like, as I was watching this, I wanted to like it more than I was liking it. And I think my problem was that like I've seen so many people do a parody / loving homage to sitcoms, and I'm a sitcom fan. Yeah. But I feel like when people do the loving homage to sitcoms, they go for a very specific type of sitcom, which has never been the type of sitcom that I like. Like,
no.
I binged all 11 seasons of Cheers. I binged all 11 seasons of Frasier. Had no problem with that. Obviously, Scrubs is my favorite show. I don't consider that fully a sitcom because it isn't in that traditional sitcom of a laugh track. This just felt very like early Friends or modern day Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And like, I was just like, I've never liked the humor of this. And like, it's nailing that humor perfectly. But then like in the positives is like the ending, when it wants you to feel an emotion, like it actually succeeds.
Oh, it goes there.
Like the emotions are good in this. I just wanted it to be better. And I think that if it was 20 minutes, I would have been like, more digestible towards it.
And that's not like most of the episodes are 20 minutes.
Okay,
like,
I wanted to check because I was
like holiday, like the Holliston Christmas Special is the like double episode, 50 minutes long.
That makes more sense. I was just like, I don't know if I could do like 10 50-minute episodes of this.
Yeah, like, no. Even when I suggest it to friends, you included, like when I watch the show, I'm like, this is very niche. Yeah. Just because I like it does not mean everyone's going to like it. And that's what I mean when I say, like, I don't even know if it's good, but I really like it.
I think that one of the things that I do like about it is that it's very clear that this is something that's passionate to Adam Green.
Yes.
Like,
and that's one of the reasons why I love it. Like, you can tell he enjoyed making it. They apparently have been working on a third season.
Okay.
For a while now. I don't know. I don't want to get into like
Odorous is alive in this.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I don't want to get into like the specifics because I don't know what the deal is now, but they have actually released a couple comic books to like continue the story and have been trying to get a third season made for a while now. But that's one of the things that I love is I know that like Joe and Adam loved putting this together.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they had fun putting it together. And as I told you, going through it, I'm holding it up to the camera, but I have notes on notes on notes about this episode. You're probably the exact opposite.
I got a single sheet.
Yeah, see?
But like stuff like let me talk about the stuff that I did like.
Okay.
Love the theme song.
Yes, absolutely love the theme song, which is not on Apple Music or Spotify, which is unfortunate.
That is a tragedy because it's a bop.
I think it's Get a Life by the band Hog.
Okay.
Which I believe that song is also in the Chris Farley, David Spade vehicle Black Sheep.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact.
The biggest laugh for me, the whole episode, which it is a flashback episode, and they kind of acknowledge that it's a flashback episode in the dialogue pretty regularly in the episode.
And just a heads up, none of these these were not like flashbacks like, oh, this happened earlier on the seasons. Like, no, it is strictly like just flashbacks to random events.
Yeah. So there's a setup where Adam's like, that reminds me of the time you got the boner in gym class. And like, it starts to do the flashback effect. And Joe's like, no flashback.
No flashback.
Like, that got like an actual laugh out of me. I like the idea that every time they do a flashback, it's in black and white. Very similar to Schindler's List, in which everything's black and white except for a single red coat. Yeah. Everything's in black and white except for Dee Snider's navy blue pants and shirt. And then there's some good jump scares here and there. One of the notes I wrote down that I had to point out is that Adam Green's acting is mediocre at best. That line,
which they called attention to.
Yeah, they say
in
that
the show.
line, and I was like, that's even generous.
Yeah.
But Joe Lynch, that dude is actually a pretty good actor.
Good. He's really good. And if you've seen, I think it was his movie Mayhem.
Yeah.
He's in it. He plays, I think, the IT guy towards the end.
Yeah,
and he's really good.
He's one of the better director actors I've seen in a while. And I like Adam Green, but I really like Joe Lynch. Like,
I do too. The first season dropped in 2012. The second season, including the Christmas special, was around 2013. So it was kind of in the midst of that. They did Chillerama. Adam did the Hatchet movies and Digging Up the Marrow. And Joe Lynch was doing his thing.
I want Joe to because Mayhem was incredible.
Yes, and Mayhem was awesome.
And Mayhem did something that is not something I can say very often. But Joe Lynch made a movie with a similar premise of a movie that came through James Gunn, and he did a better job than James Gunn.
Oh yeah, I can't even remember what that movie was
Experiment.
Called.
It's rough.
I thought it was awful. I could not stand that movie, but I loved Mayhem for sure. Let's shift gears back to the episode at hand.
Sure.
Let's talk a little Christmas.
Yeah.
All right. So the Holliston Christmas Special. The first note I have is the Christine Kringle Tingler, which is the escapee from the insane asylum. The entire episode is based around the four friends, Joe, Adam, Corey, and Laura are all in Adam and Joe's apartment, which I actually made a note with them being broke, but still being able to afford an apartment that size. But then I remembered the landlord does pop up at the end.
Okay.
And they always hide from the landlord. That's been a running joke throughout the entire series. But they're all stuck in there, and apparently there was an escaped convict, and the power goes out. Also, there's a reference. Laura keeps bringing up Sterling Torrington.
Yeah.
Are you going to go back and watch Holliston? Like, you can be honest.
Probably not.
Probably not. So at the end of season 1, I believe the story went like this. Adam Green and Joe Lynch were like, we're not going to have a season 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way there's going to be a season 2. So at the end of season 1, an old man who was in every single one of the show's openings for season 1, like the opening intro, and nobody knew who he was, opens the door and kills all 4 of the main characters.
Okay.
That's why on the radio, you hear him say, Sterling Torrington, a man who is accused of killing 4 late 20-year-olds last spring in their apartment. And they're literally referencing their own deaths.
That reference. I thought that was really weird, because my next note was that this episode ends with Adam getting killed by the Silent Night, Deadly Night, Punish Santa. Do they just get killed constantly at the end of the show? Okay.
Yeah, it's happened in the past. It's not every single episode.
So I was like, is this kind of the joke, is that it's a horror show, so they die at the end of every movie, but then they just come back, which could be a fun trope, but okay. Yeah. I guess my next question real quick, and maybe you could answer this, is did they know that there would be a season 2 when they did the Christmas special even, or did they think that this was potentially a one-off?
So that's what I'm trying to remember. If I remember correctly, I don't think this is, even though it's listed under season 2.
Yeah.
I don't think this was technically part of season 2. I think this was a one-off at that point before they had done.
Because that would also explain, like, killing them again. Being like, okay, well, now this is the real end.
Yeah. Just a few things, because I could honestly sit here and go through the whole episode, but I won't make you suffer through it since you weren't a huge fan, and I love this show.
No,
I could literally talk about this show forever.
I see I feel bad. I was like, I know that he's gonna have joy radiating off of his face.
I know. I love this show so much.
And I'm like watching it. I'm like, God damn it, Kelly, find something to love.
I have been like tampering. Like I'm going through my list. I'm like, what can I talk about that he's gonna like?
I mean, they're like, I don't know why this made me chuckle, but there's a scene where Joe goes outside for something, and you just hear carolers singing in the background for a split second.
That's his bedroom.
Oh.
Yeah, so Joe has carolers in his bedroom, and you'll notice when they do the flashback of Joe and Laura meeting for the first time, when they go to have sex in the bedroom, he goes, you guys got to take a break, and 6 carolers come piling out of Joe's bedroom. I don't know
how I missed that. Jesus.
Yeah. I think Lauren Ortiz steals the show.
Here's the thing. I don't think that she's a bad actress. I think she actually does a great job with it. But, and this is my personal problem. This is not a problem.
If Adam, Joe, Laura, or Corey are listening to this, please, I love the show.
Yeah, just know that this is only Matt Kelly of Horror Movie Night and Geekscape.net that is speaking this. Dylan is a huge fan.
I am a huge fan.
Her dialogue bothers me, and I think what bothers me about it is that it's like I could see someone being like, "You're gonna love this show. They talk about horror, and you love horror." And like, I think about it in the same way that people are like, "You'll love Big Bang Theory. They're nerdy too." And I'm like,
I can get behind that.
And I watch Big Bang Theory, and I'm like, no, this isn't right at all.
But that's the thing. It's so weird because I feel that when I'm watching it too.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like...
I love the subtle references. I love that there was like a reference to like the character from Shocker when they're trying to figure out what to name their baby. Like there's like stuff like that where I'm like, okay, that was funny. That was... I don't know if I would say that was funny, but I was like, I was charmed by a lot of it. I just wasn't laughing. That was like the thing that was pissing me off. Is I was like, I want to be like,
I think your
holding
problem,
my belly, laughing, just loving it, and I was just like, I'm charmed by this.
Okay, your problem is that you relate too much to Adam. Now, hear me out.
Okay,
the power goes out, and he refuses to light his Halloween limited edition candles. He's making out with Corey, about to have sex with her. And they knock a Jason hockey mask off the wall. And he proceeds to, still hug her, but pick it back up and go, this mask goes over here.
Yep. Nope. That is very accurate. I think I'm seeing what you're saying. I am Adam Green in this show, and I don't appreciate having that mirror held up in front of my face.
I think that's what it is. I'll never watch this show again. I identify too much with it.
Because it is sweet. The ending with like the Halloween 5 Blu-ray, and then her with the
Halloween 5.
Oh, it's the worst of the
Halloween
franchise.
5.
But I think that's why he picked it. There's no other reason to pick it than it is like right there with Part 6 and Resurrection in like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Halloween movies.
Yeah. But and I mean, Adam does have his Corey Matthews moment at the end towards Corey.
Yeah.
His Corey Matthews Boy Meets World moment. We're meant to be together.
Yeah.
Can't you see it?
Can't you see how much I love you?
See how much I love you? Now, the problem is, this is such a weird, toxic situation that they've both put themselves in towards the end. So, the end of season 2. This is the end of the show as of right now.
Okay.
Corey got pregnant during the Holliston Christmas Special.
Oh.
Like, is pregnant with Adam's baby.
Oh.
Adam has a new girlfriend. They finally make Shin Pads, their short film that they've been trying to put together.
The soccer zombie movie.
Yeah. And an actual real zombie apocalypse breaks out within the movie theater. Basically, hey, it's the end of the season. What crazy nonsense can we make happen at the end of this season?
Yeah.
Corey goes to tell Adam that she's pregnant. And then it kind of ends.
So it ended on a cliffhanger.
So you've got nothing. Yes, basically. So Adam has finally moved on. Okay? The entire first season, Christmas special, season 2, he's hung up on Corey. Finally moves on. Corey's like, I'm pregnant with your kid. End of season 2.
That would drive me nuts. I feel like I cannot.
Dude, it drives me nuts all the time. That's why
I can't inject this into my life. It would make me so angry because here's what's going to happen. I'll sit down and be like, you know what? I am finally going to give this show an honest shot. I'll deal with the fact that it's a mirror reflection of my weird, my weird brain. And I'm going to fall in love with it. And I'm going to fall in love with these characters. And then I'm going to get that ending. And then I'm going to go right back to being pissed off.
And that's my problem with the Christmas special as a whole is I know we're in the minority here. But you know what? Sometimes I just want Corey to be at that door when that knock happens at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Can it just be Corey? I mean, for real. You made out with him in the hallway again. And I'm just come on. You two just need to be together. I know. It's a 2-season show.
No, but
each season's 9 episodes. But I got enough. I got attached enough.
But, you know what? It's funny because I knew that ending was going to be... I mean, I don't think anybody was shocked by it.
Yeah.
It's okay, knock on the door. We've been talking about this craze killer.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be the craze killer because I've watched a horror movie in my life.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what actually got me. What actually got a jump out of me was when Adam wakes up in the morning and looks.
And she's next to him.
He's like, ah! That literally, dude, I jumped. I was like, oh my God.
A few of them got me. I think Derek Mears needs to be in more comedies, honestly.
Okay.
I think Derek Mears has great comedic timing. And that portion where I think Laura gives him a jump scare and he's like, all right, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
That one gets me too. I love Derek Mears' scene.
So here's my other controversial,
Here's where I'll hate on Derek Mears' scene for 20 minutes, right, Matt? Is that what you're gonna do?
There's one joke, and I feel this was the only time that I wrote down something where I was like, God, I sound like a snotty piece of shit with this one. There's the flashback to 30 seconds ago joke. And I was like, that's funny, but I think I've watched the Clerks animated series 40 times where I'm like,
that's a good one.
I've just seen that joke done already. And I don't know why it works so well for me in Clerks, but it didn't hit for me on this. But I did chuckle about it. I was like, I like that. That's an okay joke.
Yeah.
If I hadn't seen if I hadn't seen that episode of the Clerks animated series 100 times, this would have made me laugh a lot.
What I don't understand is, as you could probably tell, the way he greets Corey, they've met before.
Yeah.
Derek Mears and his partner have been in the show before. It was an episode where Joe, it's a sitcom trope, right? Joe and Adam get sprayed by a skunk.
Okay.
And spend the whole episode having to figure out how not to smell anymore.
Yeah.
And they sit in a bathtub naked together while the girls go out and try to find stuff to get them to not smell as much. Apparently all they can find are 20 boxes of douches. Or I don't know what the plural of douche is. I know I'm an English teacher. Douche-eye.
Douche-eye. I was going to say, I don't think it's one that we've had to ever really pluralize before. So usually one will get you clear.
Yeah, but they come back to the apartment and Derek Mears and his partner are there. Basically look at Corey carrying all these boxes and Derek Mears is like, do you really need all those? And stuff like that. So I thought when we went, we were doing the flashback, we were going to get a flashback to that episode.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think that was a little too corny, even for my taste here. So I'll jump on the hate bandwagon with you real quick. Crazy Max, Bill Moseley.
I was fine with it, but that was just
oh my God, for real? Out of the whole show, that's the thing you're cool with?
I was just like, well, no, because I didn't dislike any. Here's the problem.
Okay.
I didn't dislike any of the show. That's what bums me out is I wanted to be passionate one way or the other. And I just kind of was like, it was like a warm bath. You know what I mean?
This is okay. I wish it was a little hotter.
Yeah. It's just but I also do think that there was an element of so last week we did the great news episode. And like, I felt like with the Great News episode, I was like, I'm pretty sure I can tell Dylan to watch this and he won't be sitting there with like 1,000,001 questions about like, what are these characters' stories? What's their relationships? I did find myself watching this, and I guess part of me was just like, I feel like I would like it more if I had watched the first season leading into it. Like, it did feel like I was missing something. So,
yeah,
you know what? I will give this a shot, actually.
Fuck yeah!
You know,
all right!
I'll give it a shot. We'll see how I feel. Now, I might not get through season 1. I'll be totally honest with that. But I'm going to give it a shot. And if season 1 hooks me, then I'm going to watch this again before season 2 to see if I feel differently with like the context.
Go for it, dude. Go for it. I'm like,
and I'll report back. I'll eat my goddamn words on this podcast.
I'm for it. I think that's the problem is like, when you sent me to watch Good News, you tempered your expectations.
Yeah.
And you knew what you were sending me. I needed to do that. Even though I love Holliston, I also understand why people don't love Holliston.
Yeah.
And I needed to send it to you under the assumption that you weren't going to come to me with all of my commentary and comments, because I wrote notes as if you were.
Yeah, you wrote like half of a conversation.
Let's go, bro. Let's start from the top. Christine Kringle Tingler, punish.
Hey.
We haven't even talked about Framingham sucking.
You know, like here's the thing. Sometimes we are like locked in.
I know, man.
And other times it's ships passing. Let me give you time to let me double check my notes. I really don't think I have anything else written down except for just excited to see Odorous.
I just need your like your commentary back to me as I run through.
Okay. All right, yeah, go crazy. Let's do this.
Creepy Adam towards the end when Corey's getting drunk, like real creepy Adam.
Yes.
Like, you're trying to get me drunk, Adam. Like, bro, you need to calm yourself.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
This did not age well.
No, there was that whole everything was kind of uncomfortable, actually, because I was like sitting there and I'm like, I don't know about this whole mistletoe thing.
Okay, all right, so boom. That's something Christmassy we can totally talk about. Getting back on track. The Christmas tradition of mistletoe sucks.
Yeah. It's stupid.
It is gross, it is garbage, and it has never worked well in cinema or TV.
Here's my one pass on it.
All right, go ahead.
And the only reason I'm giving this a pass is because I absolutely adore this movie. Bill Murray's speech in Scrooge where he talks about mistletoe, and he's like, and because of this, I get to kiss this beautiful woman. I don't want to. It's just the rules.
Okay, all right. I can get behind that.
But yeah, acknowledging that it's like, this is chaos. How did we allow this to be a thing?
Yeah.
How has it continued to be like a concept for over 100 years?
The main thing that pops into my head whenever I see a scene like that is Jessica Biel in I'll Be Home for Christmas. When Jonathan Taylor Thomas turns on the TV and the newscaster's talking to her and the bully kid and is like, oh, and you two are under the mistletoe. She has a boyfriend and she's like, this is okay. I'm gonna full-blown make out with you on TV. Like, this doesn't make any sense. These aren't real rules, people. You can break them.
I'm also not a big fan of having to kiss somebody at midnight when the ball drops on New Year's Eve. It's great if you've got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But, like, what am I supposed to do? Go to a party and just, like, grab a girl because she's single and just, like, that sailor kissing a stranger in the middle of the street? like, no. That's gross.
One thing we did speed by, because it is a constant joke, and it is actually pretty dated because they bring up Mel Gibson, Adam bragging about being Jewish throughout the episode.
I do like him bragging about Judaism. I like Laura constantly bringing up Jesus.
Smacking him in the face. What was that for? The pain you'll feel when you burn in hell. He's like, I don't believe in hell. And then
hell believes in you.
Hell believes in you.
That was pretty good. I did like that line. Then she mentions being at the birth of Christ.
Oh my God, yes. She's talking about meeting Joe, and Joe's like, the best day of our lives. And Laura goes, the second best day. Adam goes, what's the first? The day Jesus was born.
I don't recall seeing you there.
Yeah. We go into the flashback of Joe and Laura meeting, which is probably my favorite.
I would agree with that. That is my favorite of all the flashbacks, for sure. I also feel like the them in elementary school stuff is really uncomfortable.
So fucking weird. So weird. Especially the Corey and Adam scene when they're in elementary school. So awkward. Like him hiding his boner and shit. I was like
feeling her up as he picks her off.
As he's like picking her up. And that was another thing. At one point, like Joe throws Laura on his back and just like starts touching her ass.
Yeah.
While he's holding. I'm like, this is weird. Like I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I know they were going for a laugh there, but there were some parts that like this is almost a decade old, honestly, if you think about it. So I mean, things have not aged as well. Not saying that these are things that should have happened 10 years ago, but they've not aged well.
No, but that's, I mean, look, and I've said this before, and I think you and I have had this conversation. It's important to acknowledge.
Yes.
But I'm never going to shame people for what was considered acceptable back then, even though it was wrong. I will shame people in modern day who want to defend that, like, it was never wrong in the first place. Like, that's where I'm like, okay, no, there's a different, like, you can say it was a different time and we've grown past there, and it's different than it was a different time, get over it, you snowflake. Like there's similar sentiments, different sentiments.
And being an avid listener of like the movie Crypt, I can tell you that Adam and Joe are the first people that would jump in line and being like, yeah, some of the stuff we've done has not aged well entirely.
For sure.
You were excited to see Odorous.
You know what? Like, will I say that Gwar is a band that I love? No. Do I have almost every Gwar album because I like just the vibe of Gwar? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting to have him and Dee Snider, like, as, I guess they're like main characters, but like main characters that they probably could have shot all of their scenes within like a weekend while they shot the whole season.
Yeah, they are in every episode. Dee Snider, of course, plays Adam and Joe's boss at the local TV station. And basically, Odorous plays Adam's imaginary, but not so imaginary friend. Like, they play with that.
Yeah.
Back and forth a little bit, especially when they bring up Adam's, I think it was a parakeet named Cropsy.
Yes. Parakeet's name is Cropsy, which obviously has, like, two different angles you could go with. Urban legend angle or just call out to the burning angle.
Yeah. So, and it turns out that Odorous may have eaten Cropsy when Adam was a kid. This show, to me, we've talked about it before, is a warm blanket.
Okay. I could see that.
Sure.
It's a throwback to stuff that you grew up with, mixed in with something that you love, which is why I do want to give it another shot, because even though it's not my type of sitcom, I still own all of Friends. I still watch it sometimes. So it's not like, it's not full out like Big Bang Theory or Two Broke Girls where I'm just like, nope, got no nostalgia, got no passion, get it off my TV.
I get it that a lot of the references are kind of low bar, but there's still nothing like this in the horror community.
Yeah. Really.
Like there's an entire episode where they go to a con, and it's, even though it's smaller looking than most cons we would go to, you're still seeing the same type of people there.
For sure.
You're still like, oh my gosh, like this reminds me of us going to a con. All right, so I think the conclusion we've come to is I absolutely love this show. I'm going to continue to love this show. While this isn't like I need to watch this every Christmas, I do try to work it in. It is an episode that if I'm watching the whole series through, I will throw it on. I'll just watch it as it comes. I won't be like, I got to save this till Christmas time.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Christmas feeling to it, but to me, it does have just enough. Totally get where you're coming from. Like with all of your criticisms, like they're completely justified. But to me, I have loved this show. I'll continue to love this show, and fingers crossed that we do eventually get that third season.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas, Dylan.
Merry Christmas, Matt.
Whoa, 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 now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Have a happy holiday, have a great, great
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.